Alright, hello. I think we should be fine right now. I hope. Okay. Good morning, good night. I don't know. It's very late for me. I was originally planning on going to sleep, and honestly, I was tired and I was about to go to sleep, but then like things happened, so we're here now. Uh, okay. So a Mew trailer dropped. That's great. That's beautiful. I have thoughts. I think. We're gonna Okay, so I do want to make this clear. The stream is going to be very, very unstructured because I'm just going to blab about pretty much anything and whatever. I don't know if I have a specific structure for everything, but I do remember. Um, so if I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have like a lot of the lore perfectly like memorized, and also I don't think I've read everyone's letters 100%. So that is something to keep in mind. I have a lot of thoughts about the characters, right? I'm trying to think though, because a part of it is a little bit messy, or at least in my head, is a little bit blurry, and that's kind of like, to be honest, it could just also be like I'm just very tired, so I'm very sorry about that. um, anyhow, so what happened in game zero, like from what we know, like this is before the event releases, so I guess here's where I'm gonna try to summarize the story based on my memory, and also I guess theories, right? I don't know exactly what happened or everything that happened, but we're going to try to give a general rundown, right? um Shit, I can't think right now. God, I'm so tired. This was kind of a bad idea. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of just did this as a stress burner. Like I was like planning on sleeping, but then I got really stressed out about something, so now I just can't really sleep. So we're gonna try to like calm down, and then maybe I'll sleep. I'm so tired. Okay, so game zero. We know Helena comes in is either I don't remember why Helena comes in. Shit. I really don't know the lore. Okay, but we know okay, I know Ada and Emil's reason. So Emil has a lot of trauma, and because of that he acts very aggressively, and also I think he has like early dementia. He's like losing himself and losing his memories, right? And that makes him like lash out. He acts very aggressively. And Ada's been working with him for years to try to like help cure him, but she's doing like hypnotherapy kind of. And it was very successful at the start, but as time went on, the cure just slowly stopped working. She meets up with Orpheus or Roy. Is is possibly Roy in a disguise, or like actually Orpheus at this point? We don't really know. I'm not sure. But he like they meet at a convention, and he tells her like, oh, we can help you, and she's like, I'm not sure, but like as Emil's condition worsens, she decides, you know what, sure, we'll take the deal. Basically she brings in Emil. Orpheus or like Roy, they experiment on him, and we'll see if it works. It doesn't really work, obviously, considering the fact that he dies in the Manor game. Um so that it that's what happens with them, right? And Emil's whole story, Ada's whole story. Um Emil started out like he was born into a family that was really, really poor, and there was also multiple children, so the parents couldn't really take care of everyone. So in a desperate measure to like try to help some of their kids, they sold off Emil to like the dogfighting ring. Now, from what I remember though, he wasn't originally okay. So he started out as like a sort of beggar. Basically, they got a cute little kid to like go out on the street and beg for money and food. And that's pretty much his job. Like they forced him to do that, and then eventually there was an incident where he got stuck into like he got he fell into like the dog fighting ring, and then like the dogs attacked him, right? And this was during the show. Like he was freaking out, but everyone was cheering for this. They were like, "Whoa, this is so crazy! There's a dog fighting a human. Oh my god!" And like the people who ran the dog fighting ring, they were like, "Shit, I think we got a new money plan." So they started making him fight the dogs more often, and eventually, like this goes on for years. Actually, wait. Okay, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. During his bigger days, okay, when he was still like out on the street and begging, before he got like put into the dog fighting ring, at one point there was this little girl who gave him a piece of bread, and that was Ada, and he remembers her, and she kind of remembers him, but like not really. Like both of their memories of that incident is very fuzzy, but they both seem to remember each other from then, and they both seem to like it's an important memory for both of them. But they're not like I don't know, they're not like 100% sure, if that makes sense. Now eventually Emil does escape, and then he ends up collapsing somewhere, and then the White Sand Street Asylum takes him in, and then we get into the 7 days event, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but that's the event where Emil meets Ada, and Ada is I guess, I don't know, an assistant doctor. She's I guess a novice doctor. I don't know how to describe it. She pretty much just finished schooling, and this is her like training, right? And like the 7 days is like how long she's gonna work in the asylum before she gets like moved to like a different place and work somewhere else officially. But I guess we'll go back to that once we like cover Ada's story. So Ada's story is she is like she's born into a pretty rich family. She's born into a really like her father is very smart and very well researched, if I remember correctly. Okay, I'm trying to think about how to explain this. He's a doctor himself. And Ada wants to be a doctor like him, but he doesn't really respect her and like what research she's doing, because like no, like hypnotherapy is not very respected. Even like nowadays it's not very respected, and to be honest, it is pseudoscience, so yeah, like it's not going to be very respected. But he doesn't really respect her, and if I remember correctly, she wants to like branch out and like sort of remove herself from like the Mesmer name and like prove herself as a doctor and as a capable researcher, right? So that's why like Emil was very important to her, because he was the first person who sort of gave a little bit of evidence that maybe she's not crazy, maybe like this like thing she's trying to do isn't bullshit, right? So she meets Emil at White Sand Street Asylum after doing her training, after after doing her like schoolwork and like learning, and she, like now she's in White Sand Street Asylum. This is her training. She meets Emil, and she notices, I guess, like something is different about him, right? Like everyone sort of treats him really badly, and yeah, that's kind of just the unfortunate thing about like 1920s doctors and stuff like that. Well, this is a little bit before that. I guess it's like this is really early, to be honest. I am probably like 1890s or something. But yeah, they don't really know how to handle him, and he's like currently dealing with like he has like very heavy sedative medicines being used against him, and also like electroshock therapy. My thing was buffering. Is the stream down? I always have to check with what the fuck is happening over there. I always have to check with both like OBS and then in my like monitor, because I have my thing open on like a different tab just to make sure like the stream I can watch it and it's okay. Because if I see it buffering, then I can immediately go, oh shit, we need to like take a break for a bit and make sure that's fixed. Anyways, sorry for getting distracted. So she finds Emil, and then she's kind of like, whoa, this guy, he like there's something about him, there's something different about him. And they get to, like, she basically says, hey, I'm going to try different treatments on you if this is okay with you. What do you think? And he's like, oh, well, to be honest, I hate the medicine. It makes me feel like dead on the inside. It makes me feel numb. I don't want to deal with that anymore. So she stops the medicine, and then they start trying like the hypnotherapy, and it's like working, and it makes him feel alive. He feels happier, he feels better. And then like they both start falling in love with each other over these like few days. And then eventually Emil like breaks off a little piece of wire from his bed. He bends it into like a ring, like matching rings for them, and then he gives it to Ada, and Ada is like completely smitten by this, and she's like, oh my god, I love him so much. And then she takes him, they run away together. And then they go live off like in a very rural area in the countryside. And they stay there for like, from what it seems like, I think around 3 years. Like, it's a few years. I'm not sure if it's specified, but I think it's around 3 years. In this time, Ada's trying to help him, like, I guess live a normal life. She wants him, like, she encourages him to like read. She encourages him to do, like, she tries to teach him like how to write as well. She tries to get him to talk to like the neighborhood children and like bond with them and like practice socializing, and things like that. There's a lot of little things, and that's pretty much it for their story. With Helena, okay, so she was like, okay, so she was I think she was like, she became blind when she was very, very young. And her father got really worried about her, right? Like, she was a very happy, upbeat child, and then all of a sudden she like loses her vision, and then she, I don't know how to describe it. She doesn't really react well, and like, of course you wouldn't. I do want to say, like no one really reacts well in that situation, but I get, like, I don't really know how to describe it, but she starts, I guess, throwing more tantrums. Like, I feel like saying tantrums is just like, it makes it sound childish, right? And I feel like this is a very valid reaction, so I don't want to describe it that way, but I just don't know how else to describe it, and I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, she goes from a really happy child to a very, like, I guess, not happy child. Her father's really worried. He's doing his best to like help her and get her back to being happy again. Her mother has left her around this time. Like, I think she just left. Like, she's not dead from what I know. She just left. So it's just her and her father. And they hire Sullivan. Now, Sullivan was a good tutor. And also, I will take a little bit of a pit stop, because, like, I say this a lot. I strongly disagree with how they treat Sullivan's character. Considering the fact that Helena and Helen Keller are, like Helena is based off of Helen Keller, right? And yes, I know the stories are not the same, but I'm still allowed to say that I think basing someone so closely off of a real life person, and like including like their real life relationships, right? And having someone who's like super, super important to the original person in like the in the real life, and keeping their name the same, keeping their relationship mostly the same, but just making it like really horrible and abusive and manipulative. Like, I don't know, it just feels wrong. Like, I don't want to like live my life with like my closest best friend who's been there for me for everything, who helped me through like the roughest part of my life, and then like someone takes that and then changes the story to make her abusive and like manipulative and using me for like her own selfish gains. Like, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't like that, and I will I will say that every time. I don't like the way Sullivan's character is written, okay? I just want to say, it feels weird to take basically a fan fiction of someone who's real and sort of twist it like that. So I don't really like that. I don't know. But continuing on, so Sullivan, she does help Helena. But she does so, and she does a lot of things that sort of stunts Helena, I guess. Like, she makes Helena into like a more mature, sophisticated young lady, but in exchange she gets rid of all like the small little joys. Like, for example, Helena has like this room full of like plushies and stuff like that she really adores, but Sullivan basically makes it so that Helena's not allowed to go in there, or I think she throws it out. I don't know which one it was. Like, the room might have just been locked up. And then eventually, like Sullivan wanted to publish a book about how amazing of a tutor she is for teaching this girl how to be like a famous novelist or whatever, and she does so by flubbing some of the details, by making the situation worse than it was, I guess. Like, she's like, oh, Helena is both blind and deaf, but like the thing is, she was faking her, like, basically she forced Helena to fake her deafness. Which is also another thing. I kind of feel like having Helena just be a blind character is whatever, but kind of having it be like including the fact that she is quote unquote deaf within the universe, but being like, oh, it's all fake, it was all a lie. I don't know. It feels weird because like I know Helena Adams and Helen Keller are not the same character. I will keep saying that. I just think it's weird. To say like, oh yeah, she was lying, she was bullshitting about all this, and I will keep saying it. I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels like like there's a lot of characters in IDV that are based off of real life people, and I am like 100% aware of that, and I think that's fine. There's a lot of characters, like there's Jack the Ripper in this game, okay? And like a lot of characters in the beginning of the story are a lot more closely like inspired by like people in the real world, but I think like her being basically a fan fiction Helen Keller, and this sort of making her story like, oh, you were always a liar, and then like your best friend is evil and manipulative and stuff, like, I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't like Helena's character story because of that. Or like, I like her involvement in Game 0 when she basically starts living her own life outside of Helen Keller fanfiction. Like, once we get out of the Helen Keller backstory part and then get into the Helena Adams part, that I feel like is like, I like her character there, okay? But I don't like her backstory right here. Anyways, so she fakes being deaf, and then like her father's like, huh, that's weird, why are you doing that? And she kind of, I guess she starts to realize how manipulative Sullivan is, and how she's sort of taking advantage of her disability and just using her, right? So she grows resentful, and then I think she meets Orpheus, and with this is either she's using this as a way to prove herself, right? Prove herself as a capable person who isn't tied down by their disability. So she goes to the manor, and Orpheus has like a deal for her to help her with her novels and stuff like that. So yay! She does that. Now with Galatea, last person. We technically have Roy, but we know nothing about him at this point. So fuck Roy. Anyways, so Galatea, I think she is technically the hunter of this game, but that's also Emil. So Galatea being the hunter might be in a different game. But Galatea, she has dwarfism, and because of that, no one takes her seriously. Everyone treats her like a child. They all say like, they all infantilize her. They treat her like this cute little thing that can't do anything. So they don't really allow her to do anything. They don't treat her like an adult. They don't like respect her or her ideas, or like give her the time of day. And it drives her absolutely insane. Like, she has like a nice family and all. She has nice connections, but she's not really able to, I guess, do anything because she's always going to be treated like a child. And she really, really likes sculpting and art. So she does that a lot, but no one really respects her as an artist because they just see her as this cute little small child. She meets Orpheus, and Orpheus is the first person to actually genuinely treat her like a normal person, like an adult. And like, because of that, she decides to start working for Orpheus. Like, she is someone who like sticks around and is like an accomplice in like his games, especially in the earlier days. I don't know how long this sticks around, but she stays for like, she like, she makes some of the statues for Orpheus, and she also continues helping him, like, further along in future games. Like, that's why she has involvements in, like, Lily's game, cheerleaders. Anyways, there's a little bit more. This happens after the game, but after they, like, she's confirmed to live through the Game Zero event, and she comes home. She's, like, working on some statues, and, like, she becomes really obsessed with her art. It's basically the only thing that gives her purpose in life right now. So she becomes really obsessed, and her father's like, damn, I don't like how obsessed you are with this art. Like, it's kind of, like, weird. So he throws the statue out of the, like, off the balcony, and she leaps after it, trying to, like, save it. That didn't work out, and she's now paralyzed in, like, the left half of her body, if I remember correctly. It's either the left or half, but, like, left or right, shit. But it's, like, half her body. Which is something that some people don't know, is that she's also paralyzed in one of her arms and one of her legs, right? That's why in her, like, in-game model, you don't, like, one of her arms just never moves, right? And also another thing is, it's a little bit hand wavy with how it is depicted nowadays. I remember there was a little bit of a controversy with the Cage Dream art, because she has one of her arms raised. And actually, I don't think that's very valid, because her arm that's, like, paralyzed and raised is being held up by, like, little, I don't know how to describe them, like, ribbons? Like one of her arms, like, she's actually raising it, but then the other one's, like, resting on a bunch of ribbons. Well, like, it's kind of just one ribbon, but still. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not, like, they're not erasing her disability there, but I mean, also IDV tends to have, like, an issue where they just don't remember certain very important details with characters, and also they sort of erase certain things that are not as pleasant to look at, I guess. Because, you know, at the end of the day, unfortunately, IDV is a cosmetic game, or, like, well, most of their money comes from cosmetics, so you just gotta do what you gotta do. And if you gotta, be ableist and just erase people's disabilities, I guess. It's a real shame, though. Greedy-ass companies. No, they have no morals, unfortunately. But yeah, that's pretty much everyone wrapped up. Anyways, so that's pretty much the lore of everyone's backstory. Game Zero, okay? So I think Ada and Emil show up first, and then, well, no, actually, I think Galatea was there, like, earlier. I don't know, like, they have numbers, so I can look at that, but I think, so Orpheus is there already. Then we have, like, Ada and Emil come in, and then I believe Galatea, then Helena. So, during the game, okay, so Ada was able to immediately sort of figure out, okay, I think Helena is good and Galatea is bad, right? Like, there's something wrong about Galatea. Like, she's probably evil. There's something suspicious about her. But I think in recent letters, it wasn't immediate. It was more like, as the games went on, she realized that Galatea was evil. There are some things that are a little bit wonky with the letters. I think we have to read through all of them, and we're going to have to sort of discuss it, which is something I had planned on doing. I had planned on doing this the last lore stream. I'm gonna look at my thing, because I have it, like, I had a sort of list, right, of what I was gonna do, but I didn't end up, I guess, doing that. So we'll see. Okay, let me see. I had a checklist of what we're gonna do. Lore. We yap about that. Extra lore. Oh, hey! Okay. Talk about what we already know and discuss. Research the easy part, 100 straightforward, lore, letters, and deductions. Research the hard parts, costume, portraits, frames, etc. Need to do some more interpretation events, essence, stories, truth and inference, etc. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I think we're pretty much done with the part one, which is like, I guess. Well, actually, no. We're gonna. Okay, so Ada is able to sort of figure out that there's something going on with Helena. I mean, not Helena, Galatea. From what I know, though, Helena is still innocent. The recent letter for Emil, I believe, had a lot of people up in question whether or not Helena was the evil one this whole time. But I think it was like, now that we've confirmed that Galatea was able to walk in Game Zero, it's pretty much likely is Galatea who she had the interaction with, okay? Um so moving on from that. Emil and Ada, they're pretty much always together. Like, Ada's like getting Roy to help with Emil's experimentation and like see like the cure, stuff like that. And while this is happening, my thing is buffering. Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay. Okay. I cannot tell if it's my Wi-Fi having the issue or if there's something going on with my like stream in OBS. But whenever my stream starts buffering, it freaks me out. Nothing has reset though. Like, I would get a stream elements message if like the stream crashed and like reset it. So while they were doing this, Helena and Galatea start becoming close friends, right? They're both able to bond over the fact that they're like young women, and also like they have disabilities and they're like discriminated against for it, right? Also, like, Helena for like Sullivan using her and basically treating her as an object to further her own like goals, and then for Galatea being treated with like no respect and not even given any opportunity to progress in her own goals because she's just seen as nothing but a child, right? They grew closer over this, and then like they hang out a lot, and for some reason Galatea just doesn't like Ada, right? Or it's also possible is she doesn't like Emil. So one thing is Galatea has a lot of jealousy over people. Like, I don't know if it's jealousy or like admiration. It's probably both. But anyways, Ada is pretty much the beautiful, mature woman that she would want to be, right? Like, that she can never be, right? She resents the fact that she's never going to have like a quote unquote normal adult body, like a beautiful, mature, like sexy body kind of thing. So I guess Ada, she doesn't like Ada because Ada is basically has everything that she wants that she cannot have. So she starts antagonizing Ada and Emil, right? Like, at one point, like she takes certain things away from Ada and Emil, and Ada goes up to Gala and she's like, hey, so I've lost the medicine that I needed to use with Emil, like, do you know anything about it? And then Galatea is like, no. Maybe you should like try learning to keep better track of your stuff. Sounds like a you problem, honestly. And then she just like skips away. And then Ada's like, shit, maybe I should be more worried about her. Should have been more worried about her earlier, actually. And yeah, so eventually they steal the whistle as well. Now, just so you know, Helena was also involved in this, and a theory is that Galatea was sort of manipulating Helena to turn against Ada and Emil by sort of treating Emil as Helena and then Ada as Sullivan, right? Like, kind of trying to mirror their situations, being like, oh, you see, Ada's experimenting on Emil. She's using him to further her research, just like how Sullivan was using you to further her career, her own research about how to become like this amazing, wonderful tutor, right? She's basically doing the same thing. Ada's using Emil to become this better doctor, but like, we can't let that happen, you know? We can't let Ada just experiment on him like that. So like, possibly something like that. We don't really know at this current point. This is just a theory. And I don't think there's much things to back it up. Also, I will credit, this is something I I remember watching from Somina's video specifically. So I don't know if someone else came up with this theory beforehand, but it's something that I remember Somina talked about, and it's something I do like the idea of. So, Helena steals the whistle that Ada uses to help calm down Emil. So when Emil starts like freaking out and panicking, Ada has nothing that she can use to like calm him down. So he just starts freaking out and attacking everyone. Galatea tries to protect Helena. Ada's trying to like calm him down. Nothing's working. So Roy steps in and he shoots Emil, and Emil dies there. After this, like Ada's just not really doing well, and Helena is checking up on Galatea, saying like, hey, it's really scary that he attacked us. I hope you're okay. How are you doing? She doesn't like, she can't like, Galatea doesn't answer, but like Helena can hear her working on some sculptures, so she's just like, well, I hope she's okay. Also, Emil's body just randomly disappeared. I wonder what that's all about. And then afterwards, Ada disappears. I think it's like, I don't think Galatea kills Ada. But I don't know. Actually, it's really hard to say, because it's either Galatea at this point kills Ada, or Ada like dies from despair, right? Either way, Ada's now gone, and Galatea takes her body as well, and now she has like two sculptures, and she's starting to work on a third one, right? But that one doesn't have this muse yet. So, Helena, like, comes in, she sees all this, and she's like, whoa, this is not what we talked about. This is kind of unexpected. I don't know if we could keep dating like this. You didn't tell me that you had this hobby. So it's hard to say. I think Helena does die in the end. Like, there's letters that imply she does get out and escape, but with Alice's letter where she interviews Helena's father, like years after the fact, right? Like, he's still looking for Helena. He's still distraught over the fact that she's gone, right? So I think it's safe to say that she's dead by the end of the story. And Helena got turned into the final muse. So yeah, that's pretty much the story for all of the characters in Game 0, and also the Game 0 story. Like I said, this is messy because this is all based off of memory, but you know what? We're going to spend the rest of the stream reading every single person's letter, because I think I do have every single person's letter. You know, we're going to even show it on, oh shit, network failed. Okay. So there is something going on with the Wi-Fi. That's unfortunate. Let me see. Okay, we're going to try to get IDV to work, and we're going to boot it up, and we're gonna read the letters. It's letter reading time. Okay, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. I might need to switch back to this scene, so I can actually network connect failed. God damn it. Why does IDV hate me, guys? No wonder why I don't stream this game. It just never wants to be fucking played. To be fair, I think it's just my Wi-Fi is just always kind of shit, which is unfortunate. Okay. If I do this, the stream is gonna crash. But I can try to switch to a better Wi-Fi. Why is this not my default Wi-Fi, actually? Okay. Settings. Okay, we're going to okay, so we're going to possibly crash the stream, and I'm gonna apologize for that. So just in case, thank you guys for watching, and I'm glad you guys stuck around. Okay, hang on, I'm gonna try to switch it so that my thing will just be this one. Okay. Okay, are we back? Alright, are we back? Okay, I'm gonna check the YouTube side. I think we are back for the Twitch side. Well, no, we're not back for the Twitch side. Okay, it says we're still live though, so I'm going to check. I'm gonna check the YouTube side to make sure it's still working. It does look like we're still working. That's great. Okay, so the stream didn't crash completely. Okay. I'm gonna refresh for the YouTube side. We should be working now? Okay. Connect automatically. Okay, I do want to make sure that this one is the one that gets connected to. So I hope this works. Okay. Well, I hope this works. Okay. We're going to try to boot up IDV now. Now that we're using the better Wi-Fi. Why is my Wi-Fi split up into like two different networks? I wonder about that. Is that like a normal thing? I think it's just like the plan we have. We use some kind of cheap one, I think. But like I feel like a cheaper one would just only have one line that you could connect to, and if it doesn't work, then fuck you. Okay, it worked though. Yeah, so my system was just on the shittier Wi-Fi. I need to make sure like it doesn't connect to the worser one. Hopefully, well, I guess I will work it out a little bit later, but okay. Ooh, all my dailies are here. Let me collect all that. All right, stay here, guys. I'm gonna roll all of my shit. I gotta collect all my stuff, okay? I hate the new event for cryptic notes because I need to get a very specific item and use it in order to progress. And that's really annoying for me. Okay, well, but on a side note, I have been able to redeem everything now, so yay. The only thing I don't have is that little candle thing, which I don't know if it's worth it. I like having all the free stuff I can, but still. I am thinking about joining a new guild just because, I mean, I guess it'll be more difficult if I join a new guild because like they'll kick you out if like you're inactive or whatever. So I guess it's more low key or whatever, but it kind of sucks if you're the only person who's active, so you can't really do anything that. I mean, I'm kind of fine with it as it is, but at the same time, it's kind of lonely, I guess. I think we just don't get as much fragments because I'm the only one doing things. I don't even know if we got any fragments the last time. That's the thing. Let me see. Guild rewards. Oh no, you get guild tokens. I don't know if we got any guild tokens from last time because, like, I'm the only one with activity right now, I think. Yeah. And you need, like, 600,000 or something? Like, is that right? That can't be right. That's actually kind of crazy, though. Oh, guild... Okay, so guild members must have... Oh, okay. Yeah, then we're fine, then. Yeah, but we're not gonna get a lot of guild tokens, but I don't think that's gonna happen anyways. Pretty much everyone needs to be active. And then for 600,000, that's... Okay, so it was like 20... Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know. Like, even I don't have that many points. But yet again, it's also halfway through the season. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. Delay over. We're going to switch this and switch this. So, oh my, that is way too big. Okay, hang on. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Woo woo. Okay, we're going to have it so that it takes up most of the screen though. So we're going to cover this bit up. That looks awkward. Okay, we're yay. Okay. There we go. Woohoo. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Back to the lore discussion. Yes. What? Alright, so back to the lore discussion. Okay, let me see. Where is the characters? We're gonna talk about the deductions first. We're going to go through, like, okay, so I think it would be better we go do Helena, Galatea, then we're gonna do Ada and Emil, because I think that's around their release order. We're going to ignore novelists, though. Okay. Now, one thing is, there's like a little quote, right? And then there's a conclusion. These are just like things for their gameplay, so we don't really have to look at that. It's like, I mean, I guess you can say like their gameplay and how they play is important to their story and their lore, but I'm gonna ignore that for this sake. We're just gonna try to analyze what the conclusion means and how it applies to their character, right? My most precious treasure. A photo. A middle-aged man wearing glasses is standing in front of a hospital bed looking down at a girl lying in it, which I believe is, you know, Helena. And if possible, I would like to give her my eyes. Bring this cane and listen intently to the sound it makes when it hits the ground. She's too young. She won't understand a change like this. Father Diary 1. Helena has become irritable and has begun to break her toys. The doctor says that this was normal behavior and I should think of a way to settle her down. Perhaps give her more toys will work. Special children require special care. For every teacher is capable of leading children into the classroom, but not every teacher manages to teach them anything useful. When God closes the door, another one is open. Helena, I'm amazed and proud of your comprehension and ability to learn. Helena, control your actions. A photo. A young female teacher is standing behind Helena with her hands on the girl's shoulder. Some people are unable to get up after a fall and some garner strength from it. Father Diary 2. Hiring a tutor was the right decision. I never thought that a special child like her would be able to get this far. My little Helena has become a little poet. To become an unprecedented hero, you have to take many roles, which you will only perform once. Father Diary 3. Helena has good ears. I don't understand why she would say that. Weakness can also be turned into a weapon. I will turn you into a miracle, Helena. A miracle that will never again be replicated. Everyone needs an opportunity such as this, even if only once. I want to follow my heart and make a choice, but I am not quite sure what that is. But eventually, you have to take that step, right? And then the rumor. Although Helena lost her vision due to a disease, she can perceive the outside world through hearing. In this game, she firmly grasps her cane, seeking a way to victory. So yeah, big thing is, Helena is not death, okay? The whole death thing in this universe is just a lie that Sullivan created to, you know, further her goals and further her image, right? There is somewhat of a coercion with, like, this little line, but yeah, her father does really care about her. She got, like, a disease from a really young age, and then we don't really, like, see much of her mother or anything like that. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So he hires a tutor, and to be honest, Sullivan does do a good job at what she's supposed to do, which is help Helena, like, grow up to be, like, a sort of independent, like, sort of sophisticated young woman, right? She's able to write really well. She has a lot of good achievements under her belt. But you know, a lot of what Sullivan does alongside all of it is manipulative, right? Like she's using Helena to as a sort of a stepping stone, right? She's using her to further her own career, further her own you know, to make herself more money, to make herself more famous. And I know there's people who can talk more about that, or their relations and feelings to it. But we're not going to continue with that. All right. So, with Galatea, all curses appear to be blessings in the beginning. In art review, the technique used on this sculpture may be a bit flawed, but when thinking about the sculptor, an adorable little lady, we can't help but have high hopes for the next genius from the Claudes, a family of artists. The gleam of beauty is always fleeting. The first short letter. Dear Mr. Claude, your daughter's technique has progressed far beyond my expectations. I may take her with me to Paris or Florence next year, where the artistic atmosphere is better. I believe that this will expand her vision and benefit her artistic cultivation. 3. Can we consider this moment of stillness to be eternal? A doctor's note. This is indeed a rare illness. I regret to say that there is currently no cure for it. In short term, this illness won't affect her daily life. Yet, as she grows up, this will be a serious challenge to her physically and mentally. Note 4. Everyone has to pay the price of being naive. You don't have to be so hard on her, Master. Such tangible beauty is out of her reach. She's just a child after all. One's body isn't their only prison. The second short letter. Dear Mr. Claude, your daughter can't seem to adapt to her new life in Florence. Perhaps she's still too immature, both physically and mentally. She may need a change of environment to stimulate her talent once more. My dear, you must first know what you want. A stack of old envelopes. Most of them are empty. Some of them have an incomplete wax seal that seem to be part of a fern pattern. One of the envelopes contained a check signed by Baron D. Ross? Well, that seems important. Wait, when did Helena get... I mean, not Helena. When did Galatea get released? Wait, that seems important. I don't remember that. Okay, she was released. I like how they don't tell you. They tell you her birthday, which actually that's pretty relevant. Obtaining. Okay, release August 13th, 2020. When was Alice released? Because Alice was released right as they switched over the story, right? 3 years later. Okay, that's kind of crazy. So, you know, it's kind of, this is just kind of a funny thing. For people who know anything about Game 0, a lot of people like to shit on Alice for, oh, the story took a turn for the worse because Alice got introduced. But really, she has been a thing in the backgrounds for a long time. It's just that we didn't get to know who she was or reveal who she was until way later into the story when we get to properly meet her, right? But she's not saying oh, Alice ruined the story when they always had been building up to her existence. I don't know, I guess you can still say that. I guess you could say you didn't like where the story was going, even if it was always meant to be that way. But her and composer, they were both in they were both in the works and sort of hidden in the files or background for years, pretty much from the start. So it's kind of ridiculous to say oh, changing the story for Alice ruined it or whatever, because she was always supposed to be in the story. And I really like how Ashes of Memory and Cage of Yesteryear is made. My account is relatively newer, but I did have an account from pretty much not exactly year close to year 1, probably. I don't know, like, I played this in high school, and like it was during the time like Orpheus was the protagonist, and I remember there was no fucking story, bro. There's no fucking story, but people would be like, oh, Alice completely changed the story, she ruined the story and stuff like that. It's crazy, because it's just it's just really stupid. I'm sorry, this is a very dumb side tangent, but like, I remember enjoying the story of IDV when it was first out, but there was just like, it was not really progressing. There was like very little like snippets of story. So I don't really understand why they're saying like, oh, Alice just changed everything and ruined the story completely. There was nothing there in the beginning, bro. It was like such a like very small amount of things. It was a very, very slow burn kind of thing. Like, we're still investigating and we're still like figuring out the mystery of what happened, but it's just like, instead of knowing literally nothing and like having to reveal things, I guess we have like more information and we're like revealing a different mystery. But I guess the atmosphere is different. I guess like the feeling of the game is different, but I don't see that as Alice's fault. I just feel like that's the progression of the game and its atmosphere. Like, everything about the game is kind of like less scary in general, bro. Like, look at any match in game. It's just like everything is like so much more pretty, right? Okay, anyways, I'm sorry. A letter to home. Wait, hang on. Note 7. The highest form of art requires a soul and warmth. A letter to home. Father, I've returned to Florence from Mr. de Ross's residence. I've learned so much more from this trip when I was in Florence I've learned so much more from this trip than when I was in Florence previously. As such, I decided to end my studies here and return home soon. Please reserve a side hall in the annex for my creative purposes. A small step forward or back. A book for collections, volume 10 of Ovid's The Metamorphoses. It looks old and has been read multiple times. The title page has a book collection stamp with a fern pattern. Node 9. You will become the most perfect creation. An artistic review. The sculpture of a female named Galatea demonstrates the sculptor's delicate sculpting technique. The elegant curves of the body and tension of light bursting out of it will make it difficult to look away. After a long period of hibernation, the Claude family upcoming star is rising again. And just another step until perfection. Broken pieces of plaster scattered all over the floor. The pieces would form an elegant female sculpture if you piece them together. Sans the head. Alright, and then the rumor. When she was young, Galatea has always thought she was a creator's masterpiece. That was until Destiny played a sick joke on her. But she wasn't distraught. A genius sculptor can sculpt a perfect destiny for herself. So, main thing is, yeah, she's very talented. In fact, she has always been talented, even as like an actual child, right? But as she grew up, her talent sort of faltered a little bit, and people kept treating her like she was a child, even though at this point she was like actually an adult. They were like, oh, she's immature, and they had like low expectations for her. But like, you know, she still pushed and like progressed as an artist and like pushed herself to be like a good artist, and she does succeed in that like category. She is eventually like somewhat respected in that field. Moving on, now Ada and Emil is a little bit complicated because they are released around the same time, and they also, their deductions kind of matter for each other. But you know, we're gonna read Emil's first. His is like, he is before Ada, so. I think after this I am going to go to sleep though, and we're going to do a part 2, when I wake up. Alright, the first memory of every living creature is the warmth of their mother's womb. A photograph. A sad couple stands surrounded by 3 children, the mother holding a newborn in her arms. Animals will sometimes abandon their weakest young for survival. A photograph. A dazed-looking woman lies tied to a bed, broken dishes scattered on the ground around her. The youngest son gazes out the door, holding tightly onto his father's finger. Sheltered from the elements, he feeds on the meager offerings of uncaring handlers. A diary entry. The new boy only brought home 3 pieces of change today. I would do better raising a few more hounds than raising this useless brat. To claim one's territory is not a necessary skill, at least not for humans. A diary entry. The damn brat snuck into the pit today, but somehow he made it out alive. Those full audience were almost shaking with excitement. Maybe. What should I become? A photograph. A guard holds his bleeding arm as a boy stares at him, his eyes red and body covered in scars. He stares as he gnaws on a piece of bread. Forget your once human identity. Photograph. A teenager lies sleeping in a kennel, shackles locked around his ankle. A cracked bowl filled with dubious mushy substance lies beside him. Wash away the dirt, the filth, the scars. A patient record. Identity unknown, age unknown, high fever, amnesia found on White Sand Street. Speak her name aloud and follow her wherever she may go. A small note. Ada or pills? Every 10th of October is a new beginning. A diary entry. A strange man came looking for Ada. What could they have spoken about? Ada says it was a good thing, but Ada herself said no one knew about this place. Only if she wishes it. A medical record. A book full of diagnoses and medical notes. Many things have been kept inside. A rusty wire ring is taped to his back. So, the ring is something that Emil makes. So, this is like the beginning where he's with his family. He is in a relatively big family. He's the 4th child. And they're not in a very good situation. His mother is basically dying. So his father takes them and sells them to the dog handlers, right? He starts out as a beggar. He can't really get a lot of money. Eventually, at some point, he somehow gets into the dog ring. He makes it out alive. The audience is crazy, like goes crazy for it, and then they're like, "Whoa, money!" Right? So they start doing this, and then he has to fight the dogs a lot. He's always like beaten up, like, and treated as an animal. Then at some point around here, he escapes, and he has a high fever. He has amnesia. Has no idea who he is. No idea like anything about his past. But with this, he gets taken into like the Sand Street Asylum. He has to choose whether or not he continues taking his pills, or if he trusts Ada and does the hypnotherapy, and he chooses the hypnotherapy. And then eventually we get to this point. This is like 3 years in the future after they escape from the asylum together. And this is when Roy comes in, or like Orpheus. Well, pretty much this is like very likely Roy. He comes in, and then he's telling Ada like, "Oh, like, take our deal, we will help Emil." And then she's like telling him, "Okay, don't worry, this is gonna be great, please trust us." But like all is a bit suspicious for him, but he's kind of just like, well, whatever. he trusts Ada, right? And this is just his medical stuff. Like, this is Ada's book. After escaping from the asylum, Emil becomes an object of curiosity for Ada's research, choosing to accept Ada's treatment, then face those fragmented and painful memories. Unconditional obedience, protection, dependence. They were his unique way of forming a bond with his lover. So we're going to read Ada's deductions, and then we're going to finally go to sleep. I'm actually like really struggling. I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to end stream before I get to that point though. So I'm trying to fight and stay awake. Okay. Adults enjoy asking children about their vision of their future. A diary entry. What do you want to do afterwards, Ada? They asked me a question, but didn't give me a chance to answer. Everything became clear to me long ago, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. A photograph. In an ornately decorated room, a doctor is seeing the patient as the 13-year-old girl stands at his side. Outside the door, a group of children curiously peek at the patient restrained on the bed. Grow and mature, then you may show the world what kind of person you long to be. A diary entry. I came across a starving boy on the street, so I brought him a loaf of bread. When I came home, I asked my father for help. He refused me once again. I just don't understand. If you cannot decide your own name, then we must choose the most practical method available to us. A reply. Miss Ada Mesmer, we are delighted to welcome you to our laboratory to conduct your studies and research in psychology. In addition, I have a new investment project to discuss with Dr. Mesmer and will be visiting your home next week, Wednesday. Finally, I found my lifelong pursuit. A research application. A request to conduct research on the experimental use of hypnotherapy. Signed by Ada Mesmer, Assistant Professor of Psychology. They surrender easily in the face of failure, but not me. A notebook contains multiple dates with names of different hospitals and clinics written in small print at the bottom. Each page is filled with handwritten treatments and research notes. He was destined for me, my perfect test subject. An unsent letter. I met him in White Sand Street Asylum, Father, the perfect patient, as well as the man who truly understands me. There's no need to take such deliberate notes, for your new memories will reshape you. A suitcase contains the personal effects of 2 people, a certificate for transfer of property, a professor's resignation letter, and medical records of all the patients in White Sand Street Asylum. You must first gain before you can lose. A treatment record, anxiety disorder, OCD, hallucinations, dementia, and reoccurring night tremors. The patient's condition is worsening. No, this was a meal of 3 years ago. It was just as that person says. I should try to use the newest methods of treatment. A photo of 2 crammed inside the suitcase. A man and a woman stands outside a small home, flowers in their hands, and faces full of joy and laughter. So, a little bit of something that I think I got wrong, which is it looks like Ada is kind of like, not exactly job hunting, but she gets transferred around a lot. She's a professor or like a teaching assistant, and she's going to all these asylums and doing research on the patients to try to find someone who can be her, to test these things for her. And it seems like she fails a lot. Like there's like countless names, right? But it just didn't work out until she found Emil. And from when she was younger, she was in this family. Her father is like this really like respected, high-ranking doctor. Everyone like knows him, but no one really respects her. Like people have expectations for her, and she has all these high expectations for her, but she doesn't get the respect still. Like they kind of like look down on her. So she's working on this, and then eventually she is able to find someone. And this part, no, this is like Emil's like conditions, his anxiety, OCD, hallucinations. But this part contains personal like effects. Like this is Ada and Emil's stuff. A certificate for the transfer of property. I actually don't know what that is. The professor's resignation letter. That's her resignation letter. She's like quitting her job. And then the medical records of all the patients at White Sand Street Asylum. That's the deal, right? That last part. That's what she gives to Orpheus, and what starts the games, right? She's basically the unwilling bringer of doom for like all of IDV. Her giving up the medical records of the patients of White Sand Street Asylum helps Orpheus like track down people that he can use for his own experiments, right? People who are like more like mentally not there, I guess, more weak and vulnerable. He's able to target these people and like invite them in because he knows they're more desperate and they need this help more. And he's also able to use that and use like their weakened mental state to like use the drugs on them and not help them, experiment on them and see what happens. But yeah, so there is a nice little thing after. I was right, it was 3 years. Look at me, I know my lore. I know shit, bro. Okay, but yeah, for the time that they did get to stay in the cottage together, the time they got to live as like a married couple and just have their life, they were happy. And I think that's a really cute, nice thing. It didn't last long, but it was like Emil's life was just horrible and filled with so much hardship. Like he just never had like any good moment. So I find that at the very least it's nice that he did get a little bit of happiness, but it's unfortunate what happens. After leaving the asylum, healing Emil became Ada's most important goal in life. In order to awaken Emil's love and seek out effective treatment methods, she agreed to a deal put forward by an old acquaintance. So, after this, we're going to read all the letters, because I should have all of them unlocked for Helena and Gala, and yeah, I should have all of them unlocked for pretty much all the characters, except, you know, like, they should all be unlocked. I don't think that anyone is not unlocked. Yeah. So we're gonna read all of them next time. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna be honest. This stream has been very fun, and also it's very confident boosting. I'm gonna be honest. Like, whoa, look at that! And pretty much nothing I've said is exactly wrong so far. Or like I think I was a little bit off with Ada's like stuff, but for the most part, I don't think anything I've said was like proven incorrect, which I think is nice. It does show that I do know the lore, even if like I don't remember everything 100%. Like I'm never very confident in talking about stories or lore for any games or anything like that, right? I'm always scared to talk about my opinions on fictional media, like of any kind, positive or negative. Like I don't want to say like I dislike a character or I like a character or I like the storyline or whatever, because what if I don't know enough about the story and I'm just bullshitting, right? Like unintentionally. Even if I really, really love a story, and even if it's something very important to me, I just never feel enough confidence to say I genuinely I genuinely deserve to talk about it and I have enough love for it, right? Like there's a game that I've loved and been a part of the fandom for like almost 10 years, and I don't have the confidence to speak on it a lot of times. So honestly, it very much, like, this is a very confidence boosting kind of thing. It does show I do know the lore and I do know how to talk about the lore as well. It's just, you know, you just have to know like how to properly set things up, I guess. So yeah, I am proud of myself, I guess. I don't know. Like, I felt bad. Like, I always felt like I wasn't very informed on things, and I was always behind on the lore, and there's better people to talk about the lore, but, you know, I think I need to give myself a little bit more credit. And at the very least, I do want to read things myself and come to my own conclusions. I don't want to, like, I don't want someone else to tell me you're wrong and you're stupid and you don't know anything about the lore, and then, like, dog on me for that, and then, like, I just, what's it called? I don't, like, talk about it anymore, because I do want to just read everything myself and then come to my own conclusions. Yeah. Hopefully if we find someone to talk about the lore with, that'll be great. You know, I'm here for the journey. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye bye.